What's poppin'? Today we're going to be talking about Orcust Eldlich, which is two archetypes that don't really seem like they'd have much synergy together, but mixed in, they can actually be pretty decent. The main goal of this deck is to grind the game to an absolute halt and then just outgrind them. We'll keep recycling, adding crescendos every turn, Eldlich cards every turn, and just win that way. Before we get too far into the video, few things. One, I'm doing a giveaway. If you want free stuff, go check out my giveaway video. It's like 2 people have commented right now. Yeah, go check out my video or my giveaway video. The other thing is this deck is net decked. I'm not creative enough to come up with something like this. So um, the first version of Orcust Eldlich that I saw was actually on Road of the Kings, like in what does this say, December. That deck list is right here. Um, you can see this deck is a little bit. I mean, it's weird, right? It's like OCG format, but the same premise is there. It's like get your Orcust engine going, get your Eldlich engine going, and outgrind your opponent, right? Um, but this version, more or less, was featured on Blessed YGO's channel not too long ago. Go check him out. I'll have the link to that video in the description if you want someone that's really practiced with the deck to talk about everything about it. Yeah, I can point you that direction. But yeah, it's a really cool deck. I like playing Orcust in different variants, so I thought I'd give it a try, and I've had a lot of fun with it. So card by card, pretty straightforward. Girsu, Nightmare, just standard Orcust stuff. The thing that's different very clearly is the 3 crescendo. We're just going to be using Galatea to get a crescendo every turn. A negate and banish is so strong, and it also provides follow-ups for next turn, which is huge. Babel is honestly really expendable. The general theme of the deck is Orcust stuff your turn, Eldlich stuff on your opponent's turn. So, because the summoning Xenolocks really conflict. So, Babel is a big candidate to be cut from the deck, but here it is for now. Orcust Return. If I'm not mistaken, the version of the deck on Blessed YGO's channel had more copies of Nightmare, so it made more sense to have more ways to get him out of your hand. But well, I think technically her, right? That's like Galatea. Anyway, I get distracted. So having Return made more sense. This is another candidate to be cut. Onto the Eldlich stuff. Double Golden Lord, Eldland, 3 Conquistador, 2 Wakero, 3 Scarlet. Again, pretty straightforward. Like there's not really much to say here. Extenders and general good 1-ofs, Foolish, Called by Reasoning. Reasoning is great. Like if you mill, like a Conquistador, Scarlet, and then land on Girsu, like you're just so far ahead. Foolish Burial Goods is just basically a starter. You just goods, send crescendo, add Girsu, play on. We've got Prosperity. It's really good because we only really have like 3 main starters for the Orcust engine. So digging for Girsu is really important. 3 Droplet. This card is good for both engines to get Eldlich or Orcust cards out of your hand. 3 Ash, super generic strong hand trap, and 3 Imperms. Yeah, I mean that's basically the deck. We have a extra deck, of course, but primarily we're just going for Galatea, truthfully. So we've got 3 Gals, Longirsu, Link Spider can come up if you want to get your Conquistador or Wakera off the board. Link Kribo, you don't really want to go into in this deck, but sometimes you'll need to, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Double Ding, Vampire Sucker, it's kind of a cool card. being able to draw if you use Scarlet to special from the grave, but it's a little bit niche. Borg, good for discarding. General interruptions, I never go into these cards or access code. Zeus is cool because Girsu can just go straight into Zeus, which is pretty lit. And then this random Nightmare Phoenix, I wasn't really sure what else to throw in, but here it is. So that's basically the deck. Now I'll just go over some kind of general good things to know about it and kind of how you play the deck. And then I'll show you 1 or 2 games that I've got. So, yeah. One thing I had trouble with when I first started playing this deck was I'm used to playing Orcust more like a combo deck and just like going in, summoning, going, using all of my resources, playing into nib, getting nibbed, and scooping. But that's not what this deck does. So when we're summoning the Girsu, of course, we just send Nightmare. But the thing that I kept doing, or kept wanting to do at least, was summon the tokens. But again, all we want out of this is Galatea and Crescendo. So you don't summon the tokens and go into Link Karibo and do all that stuff. All we do is just casual, Nightmare, send Wand, go into Nightmare, and then we go Galatea, and we're at 3 summons and we're Gucci. What will tend to happen with this is games 2 and 3, people will side out their nibs against you if you just do this, set a bunch of cards and pass. So you can be a little bit more reckless, but game 1, this is what you want to do. There's no reason to go all out and get Ding in the grave and all that stuff. It's not going to really benefit the deck. So, yeah, all you do is just Girsu, Nightmare, Wand, boom. The other thing, like I mentioned, is we always want to use Orcust cards on our turn, Eldlich cards on our opponent's turn. That's because we get access to Crescendo on our turn, right? So, and then Scarlet is going to lock us out of non-zombie monsters. So that's something to be aware of. You don't want to accidentally cheat your opponent and not be aware of Xenolocks, like I said. So just kind of be aware of that. As far as actual gameplay goes, this is not the best game I've ever played in my life, but it's, I think, a good demonstration of what the deck is supposed to do. So we'll just hop right in. So we're going first, which is huge. Winning the die roll is really, really important for this deck. Eldlich cards have a hard time breaking boards, so it's always good to win the die roll. Anyway, we normal Nightmare, like you said, Nightmare into Wand, go into Galatea. He imperms the Gal, but luckily we drew a Crescendo anyway. So right now we'll have Crescendo for an interruption, and then a Wakero, since we also hard drew the Scarlet. So yeah, here, like I mentioned 1,000 times already, we're going to use a Eldlich cards on our opponent's turn, Orcust cards other than Crescendo on our turn. So he attacks and will activate Scarlet to summon the Lord right in that zone, link her up so that she doesn't get destroyed by battle. He activates Purple, I activate Crescendo, he activates Cosmic, and I don't catch it immediately because, I don't know, whatever excuse I want to throw out this time, but, and so he banishes the Wakero, even though it shouldn't have been, but it's okay. Anyway, we keep going. He goes for random combos that I have no idea what's going on. Oh, he goes Unicorn. Yeah, Lib sends back Gal. Unicorn sends back Eldlich, and then he just passes. So not super strong. And we've got a Scarlet Engrave. We've got the Gearsu. Like, we've got our engines running. He has one card. There's literally nothing he can do here. Like, this game was won 1,000 times over. So he makes us go first again. Makes sense because he's playing Mech Knights. Opening hand, Gearsu, Nightmare, Summon Limit, Conquistador, and Scarlet. So again, we've got both engines. Like, this hand is really, really strong. We also have a Floodgate. Everyone loves Floodgates, so can't be too upset about that. Opponent has Imperm, Nadir, Dark Ruler, Ecclesia, and Feather Duster. So also a pretty strong hand, I guess. Like, Feather Duster against a back row deck is always nice. And Nadir is a wild card, so yeah, so he just imperms the Gearsu, and I can't really do anything. Then he gets the fattest Feather Duster. I mean, again, it helps that this is chainable, and this will replace itself, but still. Now, basically, we have 0 interruptions for the turn, so. Oh, and then he top-decked Lancia, which is also pretty big for him. Yeah, so he couldn't really do anything that turn. He couldn't capitalize, but he does stop me for a turn, which is good for him. We top deck a Nightmare, which sucks. Clearly, this build is less refined than the one that I showed in the beginning, because that build only had 1 Nightmare. Anyway, we beat over his stuff. Keep going. He doesn't really have anything crazy going on here. Just summons yellow and passes, and we're just going to keep letting our cards replace themselves. I could have done some wonky stuff like turn these 2 into Barricade Borg, discard Nightmare, Nightmare Send Wand, and get, Galatea going, but it just didn't really feel worth it. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really feel like it was the right play. Anyway, so he punishments, pops my Gearsu, and Entis pops the Eldlich. So we just set Crescendo, use Eldlich to summon itself, get back that Conquistador, and keep going. Yeah. I mean, it's all pretty straightforward from here. He just, I just got so many cards, and his engine didn't really do anything for him. He just wasn't able to compete, and I just completely outpaced him, right? And then I end up taking a minute to calculate. Right here, I have exactly game without going into the extra deck. I'm pretty sure I knew he had the Knight in hand, so yeah, we just switch everything to attack mode and beat over his stuff and go for game. So yeah, I know that wasn't against the most meta deck ever, but that's what the deck is supposed to do. Once you get the engine going, all of the cards just keep replacing themselves, and you can really outgrind your opponent. Like, if you go +3 off of like a Crescendo Banish, Scarlet Banish, freaking Conquistador Banish or something, and then draw for turn, and then use your Orcust cards to gain more advantage. Like, it's just really, really hard for people to keep up with. Anyway, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed. I'm always into playing different stuff, even if it's basically the same thing. Like, this is Orcust, but it plays so much differently from like Rocket Orcust, which I also enjoy a ton. So, yeah, it's fun. That's basically all I got. Check out the giveaway video. I'm trying to give you guys some shit, okay? Just check it out. It's free stuff. All you have to do to enter is tell me something good that happened, okay? So just go check it out. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. If you didn't, that's okay too. I still hope you had a good day. That's all I got. Bye-bye.